Hello and welcome to Love Brand You on Win Win Women. I'm Sam Rafis, your host for this metaphysical show about faith and inspiration for you to succeed in all areas of your life. As we do every week, we start out with our Love Brand You prayer. So if you would like to settle in, and I am looking, where is my prayer? And here it is. Okay. Take a deep breath. My God source loves me no matter what. I am always lovable and give myself compassion for everything I've ever done or not done. Love heals me more quickly than self-judgment. I choose love now for me and for everyone in my life. For this, I give thanks. I let it be so, and so it is. Amen. Well, welcome to another week of Love Brand You. And this month, if you've been tuning in, you know this month is about relationships. And a couple of weeks ago, I had a couple of my friends from Sweden that were on the show, and we talked about cultivating relationships and our global connection. Last week, I talked about my relationship with myself, and that was the focus of the show. And today we're carrying on that theme about personal and spiritual development. And for that, I have another guest here with me, and we are going to discuss how to transform your life. And she is the perfect individual for me to have this conversation with. So let me introduce you to Lynn Baillie is a master practitioner in Reiki Tumo and a master teacher in Usui Reiki. She has her Bachelor of Science in Mathematics, and her career has been in the legal and compliance department of financial institutions and investment dealers and brokerages. After having a life-altering injury to her eyes that ended her career, she began her healing journey and found the realm of energy healing. Lynn discovered a world full of peace, joy, love, and abundance, and is sharing how she did that with the world through her writing. She's a recent author of Breaking Out of the Darkness and is currently a content contributor for Firebrander magazine. Firebranders, I should say. Lynn has a few more books to write and is excited to have this journey that she is on. So Lynn, welcome to Love Brand You.
Thank you for having me, Sam.
We've been waiting a couple months. I think it was the first time I talked to you, and we're finally at our episode, and I'm finally excited to have you on the show, like I do every week with every guest, or each time I have a guest, I should say, start us off with telling us a little bit about where you're from, how you arrived at what you're doing, and anything that we can know about your journey here, Lynn.
Thank you. A little bit about myself. You mentioned I was in the financial industry, and many people don't really know what that is. And basically, what I tell people is that I was like a police officer for the investments and for the clients. So I made sure that the sales force conducted themselves properly for the clients, but I also protected the sales force from false allegations that some people make. And in doing that, I would conduct investigations. And in order to conduct a fair investigation, you have to take a neutral perspective. And I didn't realize it then, but I was actually practicing something very important that people need to practice in their healing journey, a neutral perspective. Because with that neutral perspective, you see the truth of the matter and you can make decisions based on actual facts rather than on emotions, where you think something is going. You actually know what's going on and you can make informed decisions. So that's about me, my career. and how I arrived where I'm at now. Sam mentioned about the injury to my eyes. That forced me to take a good look inside and see what I could do going forward as a career. But that also coincided with me separating from my husband. And that was, I think, the very first step in my healing journey. Because once I did that, I started bumping into people from the energy realm, and I kept seeing things that and hearing things, in discussions about energy healing that sparked my interest. I thought, how could this be possible? This is such an amazing thing. I need to learn more about it. And that is how I arrived where I'm at today. I started taking course after course, learning everything I could, and and
Had
oh
you
my goodness.
ever had the only thing I was thinking, and it was probably you probably paused at the perfect moment, because I was thinking, had you ever heard of energy healing per se before this injury had happened?
Not at all. I had no idea that this ever existed. I had no idea there's an energy realm. I didn't know about Reiki. I knew about psychics. And, you go to these psychic fairs and you can have your fortune told. But I had no idea what else existed in this world. There's so much that we don't know about. And in the process of me taking a few courses here and there, this whole world opened up to me. And it was just incredible. And I couldn't get enough of it. And I'm still learning. I'm still a student. Um, and I love every minute of it. And I know what I was going to say before, how I arrived to where I'm at. In the process of all my learning, I learned something very important. Um, it's to do with your perspective, and you can either have the perspective of, why is this happening to me? I'm the victim. Or you can say, okay, this is happening. What am I learning from it? You become the student. So in transitioning from being the victim to the student, my life just changed incredibly, and my learning journey is ongoing. But I have learned enough now that I feel a very strong need to share what I've learned, because I've helped myself heal immensely. And if I can do that for me, then I can help somebody else. I've, written down all the steps. I took notes. I, paid attention to what I was learning. And so this is part of the how I arrived to where I'm at. When COVID hit, it hit everybody really hard and threw everybody into a very dark space. And I noticed that right away and thought, gee, with the law of attraction and all of these people having such a low vibration, that is not going to go well. I have to do something. I have information that I can share. How do I do that in the most impactful and efficient way? Because this is, global. I need to get my message out to everyone who wants to hear it. So I had these dreams, and I had a dream of the cover of the book. I had a dream that people need to be happier. I was getting all of these messages that I had to do something. So I wrote the book, and that's where I am now, is trying to get
And
my
I
message out.
I want to get deeper in the book before, and I want you to talk about the book. Before we do that, while you were talking about the vibration of the world, can you
Yeah.
briefly, I know some people don't quite get, like when I might talk in terms of vibration, or like when you talked about Reiki, for me, I was like, well, I've taken my Reiki. I'm a Reiki master since 2008, and not that I use it all the time in my practice. I use it for myself all the time. However, when we're talking Reiki practitioner to Reiki practitioner, we get it, and we can nod and we can go, yes. However, when you said you didn't know anything about any of the energy healing realm, what do you find now with, say, individuals are asking, what is Reiki? So there's two parts to it. How do you explain Reiki, and how do you explain vibration?
Okay, so Reiki is it's defined as spiritually guided life force energy. Now that also needs explaining. So um, when you believe in the divine, you believe that you can be guided by spirit, and also the energy around us. So we are energy. All matter has energy. We all have an electromagnetic field. Um, Everything you touch has an electromagnetic field, so it has energy. The air also is full of energy. So everything around us is energy. We are energy. So we're connected to everything by the energy that surrounds us. Now, the spiritually guiding that energy, when you are in tune with the energy, you are able to direct the energy, you're able to manipulate the energy. And that's what Reiki is. It's just basically taking the energy within yourself, the energy outside of you, and guiding it in a loving way to help yourself or help others.
I
Um,
love it. And I want to interject, and anyone that's watching the show, viewers, that there's always more questions than time. So I'm interjecting, Lynn, because I want to make sure that we can share as much with our viewers as possible. And as things come into my mind, how do you manipulate, like, people used to ask me, how do you do distance Reiki? And that was the
okay.
thought that came to me when you were talking about moving the energy. So explain quickly, and then I want to get into some of the other questions, because I know we didn't discuss about this question, but it came to me, and you and I both talked about, we just go with where we're divinely guided.
Okay, so in the energy realm, there is no distance or time. So distance healing is very easy. You just you, you actively use your imagination. So when you close your eyes, I always say you can see better with your eyes closed. Um, when you close your eyes, you are transported into another world, another dimension, and you are able to see the person that you're healing in your mind's eye, and you just focus on them and imagine the energy going to them and helping them in the best possible way for the highest possible good. That is the simplest way for me, I think, to describe distance healing. It's as if you're there with them, because really you are in the energy realm. You're
I love it.
you're you know.
And this is we're going to transition into the book, because I'm keeping an eye on the time and I want to talk about your book.
Okay.
Viewers, listeners, I've read Lynn's book. It speaks to my heart. I can't say enough about it. I wanted to spend the whole episode on the book. However, I want you guys to buy it. So I'm not going to share too much. Tell me, I was thinking about how you explained distance healing in the book, but
Mhm.
bring us to why. I know you talked about it at the beginning, why you wrote the book, but tell us the name of the book. I know I talked about it in your bio, but bring us back to the book. Let's spend a few minutes on the book and how you got there and why you wanted it written in a certain way.
Okay, so it's breaking out of the darkness. And the reason I wrote it was because of the negative energy in the world. And I wanted to have a tool for people to use to help them heal themselves. Basically, it's a self help book. It goes through the steps of healing. I mean, there's a chapter that's devoted just to the steps of healing. But before that, I wanted the book to be able for someone who has no idea what energy healing is about to pick it up and understand it. I wrote it in such a way that it's simple and easy to read. It has quantum physics in it. It has everything to do with your vibration, intention, manifestation. It has the energy healing. It has stories of people who successfully healed using different modalities of the energy healing. It has it discusses Western medicine versus Eastern medicine and the placebo effect, which is incredibly huge in the energy healing realm. But the last part of the book is dedicated to continuing education. So I basically put everything in there that I had used for myself to learn, but also to continue your education online, you know, with Facebook, YouTube, Google, whatever you use, with search phrases that you can use to just explore on your own. But the main purpose of the book was to help people have the steps right in front of them so they can follow them and go on their own journey to heal themselves. And that was my goal with the book.
And I'm going to hold it up here. See the beautiful cover, Breaking Out of the Darkness by Lynn Baillie. And it is what Lynn says it is. It's an easy read. And I found myself learning, you know, you think because we do this, those of us that do this work and love this work and could do it all day long, every day. This is another book that will be on my bedside table because I love this information. And once you even know more, you can do more. And I always like to ask women on this path, what do you love best about being on your transformational path?
Sure. I do have an answer for that. What do I like best being on my transformational path? For me, learning to let go of all of the negative energy related to my past traumas. And I've had a lot of crazy stuff happen in my past. Learning to forgive the cause, send love to the cause, learning to love myself for being traumatized and forgive myself for being traumatized. That was the most liberating experience. And it's hard to find words to say how you feel once you can let go of all of that baggage. Like, it's energetic baggage, really. So when you are able to just let go of all of that, you're free from it. You don't carry that burden anymore. You're not trapped in those negative cycles anymore. You're allowed to bring in the positive energy that you now are feeling. You're vibrating at a higher frequency, which we didn't talk about.
You
I
just
didn't
read
answer
my
that
mind.
earlier.
I'm
Right.
like, we
So,
didn't touch on that yet. So touch on that with
right.
the vibration, with the power of forgiveness. Because I think people that are, and I've had an episode on forgiveness alone, it is hard to do. However, you talk about how freeing it is.
Mhm.
So explain your point of that and people that are struggling with forgiveness.
Yeah, I think the perception people have of what forgiveness is slightly off. I think people say, how can I forgive that person after what they did to me? Well, forgiving isn't condoning. Forgiving doesn't say that what they did was okay. Forgiving allows you to let go of that negative energy attached to the experience. So so that you can be free of the negative energy. You know the experience happened. It's just going to be more of a matter of fact that it happened and it wasn't okay, but you're energetically letting go and raising your vibration. So when you're a low vibration is a negative emotion. So hate, anger, fear, jealousy, you know, that kind of thing. And once you're able to let go of that negative energy, you vibrate up here. And that vibration is love and peace and joy. Like you literally let go of the demons and free yourself to be light. You're breaking out of the darkness. So, which leads me to the cover of the book. It was a dream, and basically the light body breaking through. It's the light, the person vibrating at their highest vibration. Their chakras are all lit up, and they're shattering through that veil of negativity. And on each of those shards of the veil, you see anger, guilt, jealousy, all of that stuff falling away, which is what you're doing as you're healing. You're letting all of that negativity fall away. And the back cover shows the view from behind the veil of the loving universe waiting for you. And I think that is the most important part of that healing process.
So what are your recommendations for individuals that are wanting to forgive, or for transformation in their own life, I guess you should say, or I should say?
Well, that's actually the healing process that I have in that one chapter, but I can highlight it all. I think the first step is to just look inward and see what the truth of the matter really is, and clear out all of the negative energy that you can. Now, this is not a very quick process. You take one experience at a time that was negative, you sit in that energy, and you forgive, love, and let go. And you do that as often as you can, whatever you are able to go through, because it is an emotional experience. You definitely have to create boundaries, energetic boundaries. I discuss energetic boundaries, and that helps you keep the negative energy away. And
Which process was it in the when I read books, I remember things visually as the page, so I can see on the page where you wrote about when you're doing a process and you have to start all over again if you do it X number of consecutive days. So you're trying to do a healing process, and I'm trying to remember which one you were explaining, because I do the same process. So maybe we had some of the same teachings in that, but it's building the energy. I refer to it as compound interest, like compounding it daily to build on it. Do you know what page I'm talking about?
Well, the one I did discuss about, it's connecting the external chakras, the out of body chakras to your heart chakra.
Yes.
And that
chakras.
Was a 90-day, okay. Process.
Okay. Tell us about
it.
It
was a long
Tell us
time.
about that. So I'm looking at the time. Okay. Tell us quickly what the chakras are. And then I want you to make sure and tell people where they can buy your book and all that stuff. So connect the chakras to that.
Okay. So most people are familiar with the 7 chakras. You have your crown, your third eye, your throat chakra, your heart chakra, your solar plexus, sacral chakra, and root chakra. We have hundreds of chakras, and some of them are actually out of your body. So you have 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. They go from your crown up. Although number 10, I believe, is in the earth. So even though the 10, they show it up above your crown, it's actually below your feet. And those are out of body chakras that I was trying to have activated and connected to my heart chakra. So I went through that process with my Reiki Tumo master teacher, and she helped me connect some of them. I didn't have all of them connected because I didn't take the courses I needed to, because you had to take a course to have them open, which I didn't think was right, but that's another story. And one so one day I just asked, I like, can I have my other chakras opened and connected to my heart? And for about, it was really intense, that just ask and you shall receive. This was very incredible. So I had this incredible feeling of energy coming into my crown chakra for about 5 or 10 minutes. It was just unbelievable. And when that finished, I felt very different. It was it was just incredible. I felt whole. I felt like my shattered soul was completely brought back together. That pieces that were lost came back. It was very very emotional. And I felt um, I was viewing things with a less emotional. Uh, I just wasn't being as emotional when I was experiencing things going forward. You know how you have an emotional attachment to things. I was just not doing that. And my memory was significantly improved. And I don't know how that worked, but it was a bonus from that whole process. But yeah, that was an incredible experience. And my chakras were all attuned and connected to my heart that day. And it was a huge pivotal moment in my life.
I I can feel it. How does that play out now? Is it carried with you? Are you at that level? How do you explain it now?
You have to maintain it. So that's so that when it's your Shing Chi chakras. So Shing Chi 8 to 12. And when I practice Reiki Tumo, I now practice Shing Chi 12 Reiki Tumo. And that's a higher, lighter vibrate. As you increase your chakras that are open, the Reiki that you feel is much lighter. It's incredible the difference in the feeling. Like I can say Shing Chi 12 forward flow and I'll feel a certain energy in my hand. When I say
Nice.
Shing Chi 9 forward flow, the energy changes. So I haven't quite figured out if Shing Chi 12 Reiki should be applied to certain things and Shing Chi 10 or 11 should be applied to others because those different chakras represent different things. And I still want to explore that to see if using the different Shing Chi chakra energies to heal different things actually is more effective than just blasting Shing Chi 12 on everything.
Blasting. Okay, so does that mean that individuals can contact you for energy healing?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, so tell
Mhm.
us, we've got a couple minutes left and
Yeah.
I've got to do the closing affirmation. So tell us, viewers, people that are tuning here in live or on the replay, how can they find out more about you? Where can they buy your book? Tell us all that.
Okay, so I have a one source for all. So my website, it's www.lynntheta.ca, Lynn Theta. So lynntheta.ca. And on my website, I have access to all my social media. I have access to Amazon and my publisher. And it has a page dedicated to the Reiki healing. My contact information is also on there. So I have my email that you can contact me at. I believe it's lynntheta@gmail.com. And
Wonderful.
yeah, so it's all there. Everything that you need to know about me is there. My blogs are there and my links to Facebook where I have other things and Instagram. It's all there. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
So at the end of the show, I upload this into show notes as well. And it's on the Win Win Women on my Win Win Women Love Brand You page. I upload it to YouTube. The show notes are there. So there will be multiple ways that you can find Lynn and her book. Leave us with Lynn. We've got just the final seconds here. So what words of wisdom would you like to leave us with today?
Well, I think the most important thing is that I think everyone should learn to love yourself with all of your perfectly imperfectness. And it's very important um, for your relationships going forward. Love yourself the way that you want to be loved. And that is a very important goal. And I think a lot of people need to start exploring themselves and figuring out what makes you tick and learn to love every single thing about yourself. Um, that I believe you find your energy that way. And once you are loving yourself at the highest level, then you will attract others who will love you at that level. And that's the best step that you can take on your journey.
Perfectly said. That's why I have that's why my brand is Love Brand You. Love Brand You, transform from the inside out, make your dreams true. Lynn, thank you so much for talking about how we can transform our lives today. I'm so happy to have you on the show. Thanks for being here. And I'm going to close us out with our closing affirmation. Okay. I am fortunate and grateful to attract powerful and brilliant women from around the world who generously share their wisdom and their ideas with me. For this, I give thanks. I let it be so, and so it is. Amen.